So if you've been putting off video editing for the longest time because you're either overwhelmed or you think it's too complicated, well then this video is for you. As I walk and talk you through how to use the Descript tool to either record your video and edit your video to get a great quality video ready for your YouTube channel. Now I'll explain in the video why, some of the reasons I use Descript, but it's actually keeping up to date with some of the latest trends in terms of AI and MCPs, and it just makes video editing that little bit easier. And I'm going to showcase exactly where I started video editing 10 years ago and where I am now, what tools I have used, and the pros and cons of all of them. So by the end of this video, you're going to be able to make an informed decision whether this tool is right for you or not and how to edit quickly. So I've been searching for a good video editing solution for the longest time because I am still doing my own video editing. I don't have all the pops and the pings like most YouTubers. I see YouTube as a lead generation tool for my online business. So I'm quite happy putting across my points and getting minimal editing to each video. So you could start off with something free like iMovie if you are on a Mac. This is totally free. It can give you decent editing tools and you're going to up level your editing skills pretty quickly. But it does come with some limitations. So about 10 years ago, I started using ScreenFlow. Now this is a little bit more advanced. It gave me everything I needed to use. It's from Telestream. You can just download it, one-time payments, an annual subscription that you're going to need. But it is a great all-in-one package for video editing. It can record your screen, record your camera, record any intakes from your mic, and then you can edit it all together in one simple platform. And you can also download ScreenFlow from the App Store as an app on your desktop if you would prefer. But I've used ScreenFlow for the longest time, but the problem I had was my computer kept getting full of all these massive raw files from ScreenFlow. I thought that I needed then a cloud-based solution for my video editing. So I very quickly looked for cloud-based solutions. I came across Riverside, which is fantastic, really good for interviewing one-on-one. It records locally and then uploads after that recording, so nothing gets broken up. This is a really high quality podcast and video editing platform. So it records and edits everything on one platform. But what I actually found, because everything is on the cloud, my editing sometimes got a little bit janky. Sometimes my browser would refresh and the edit wouldn't be perfect. So then I found Descript, which actually has a cloud-based solution and it has a desktop app. So you don't have to store all of the files on your hard drive. You've got the app on your desktop and you've got the cloud solution. You can switch between the two. And so I do all of my editing in the desktop app of Descript because I've found the best performance. And then I can check that online on the cloud base and everything is seamless. So for this video, I'm actually using the desktop app to record this video, but then I'm going to give you a run through on the cloud-based app. So here we are on Descript.com and I'm just going to go and sign in because I have already got an account with Descript. I usually use Google to sign in and I usually use my main Google domain. So once you're signed in, the dashboard looks something like this and you can see all of your projects that you've been using Descript for. And basically if you go from the home button, there's two ways you can start. You can either click record now or you can start a new project. The project will be the shell and the record will be straight into a recording. Now you've got some options here. You can either record the camera, record the screen, which is the camera and the screen, or you could do an audio only like a podcast. What's also great is you can record with others or you can schedule something up for later. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go into this project here because I've got one saved earlier that I'm just going to show you how I edit. So if you just went to new project, you'd see something like this where you can either upload a file, you can create with AI speaker so you have AI voiceovers, import from other media library, just hit record here, or you can import something from Zoom. Now what I've done is I've already recorded one of these videos and you can either click on some of the videos itself. This is an image or a video of me piece to camera, or you can actually go through having a look at the screen recording that you've created. So more often than not, I create screen recordings and voiceover and piece to camera. So typically what I do is I tend to use the sequences because I like to edit everything within one. So I would probably just come in here, click record the camera and the screen, and that's going to get my mic as well. Once it's all finished, I'm going to select sequences and then use sequences to then edit everything from here. So this is an example of some raw video footage that I've taken. As you can see here, it's got a box down the left hand side, which is all of the copy. Now, once you've finished recording, it's going to take a little bit of time to transcribe. And then in this window here, you've got the piece to camera, which is the actual camera feed. And then I've also recorded my screen. And then down here, you have all the feeds. So this is the camera and the voice. And then down here also, you have all of what you're saying. So this is the audio. So if I was just to pinch and scroll out, you can see the entire video here. And the entire video currently is sitting at like 9 minutes 47. And as you can see, if you were just to mouse over and scroll through, this is how my piece to camera would show, and then your screen recording would show too. Okay, so the very first thing I do when I import my video and audio, I have a look at the background and I want to tweak this background. So this canvas, I like to stretch out so the area of screen that I've been recording actually fits this canvas. So I'm going to adjust it a few times. And then what I try and do is I try and get what I'm sharing on screen to fit somewhere like that on the canvas. Okay, so that took a bit of fine tuning. And then the next thing I would do is take this video footage, piece to camera, and then stretch that all the way across. So I've got both of these canvas and the audio and the video stretched across the entire screen. Now, some of the great things about Descript is you can do text-based editing, meaning you can simply edit text, it will edit the video. So anything you select in the text, you can either just click delete or strike through. It will then edit that in the video. So if you can edit a Word document, you can edit a video. It's so simple. But even before this, probably the first thing I do, zoom all the way out so you know how much you've got to go. I would then go into the AI tools, and then I would probably click on Studio Sound. Now, this is entirely up to you. If you've got a great mic and limited background noise, you might not have to use this at all. But if you just to click on Studio Sound, it will affect your entire video because I've selected it all. And then you can toggle on Studio Sound and it will sound like a studio. But you don't have to have the intensity all the way to 100 or 70. You could maybe have it halfway. And it's up to you how much you use it. I would just test and adjust, and whatever sounds the best, I would probably use that. But you know what? If you have got a great mic, you don't need to use that at all. But if you've got a little bit of a tinny mic, you can then switch this on. So for this exercise, I'm just going to leave that toggled off. So some of the next things you can do, you can edit for clarity, or you can remove filler words or remove retakes. But what I would do is go into Underlord. Now this is Descript's AI tool, and I'm just going to say smart suggestions for your project, improve this video. So I'm going to ask Underlord, hey Underlord, what is a good idea for editing this video so it actually looks nice and polished? So I'm going to give that a few seconds because Underlord is going to go through this entire video and give me some suggestions. So that took a few seconds. It's saying remove the full start, so I'm not speaking straight away. Cut the off-topic interruption at this point. You can click any of these. Add scene boundaries, add captions, add lower thirds. So what I'm going to do is go into AI tools and walk through some of this for you. So first of all, I'm going to look at removing any retakes. So I just record off the cuff and I speak from my heart. I don't use a teleprompter. So if I wanted to submit anything that I think is a duplication, then it's going to give me a good idea of what I can delete. Now these are any retakes, so you can just click on any of these and then you can just click play and then hear yourself speaking. If you want to then delete that, you can either click the check mark, or if you want to omit that, if you want to leave that, you can click discard edit. But once you've done with all of these, you can either click done or discard all of these edits, or you can simply come back out, leaving those enabled. Now, as you can see in some of the copy, these strike throughs are already implemented. So it's a very quick way in text-based editing. It's removed that initial duplication. So next thing, I would probably shorten some of these word gaps or remove filler words. So let's go to the word gaps and then let's go Any gaps more than 3 seconds, it's found. Shorten to, I want to keep it quite punchy, so let's go to shorten to 0.5 seconds. So once you can shorten those, you can then go in and have a look and see which word gaps you want to leave in, which word gaps you want to actually leave out. Because when I scroll in here, there's going to be nice and tight edits through here. Now, it's all well and good using these AI tools, but I really would recommend to go through and see if it's done it correctly. Sometimes it does miss out some of these duplications, and sometimes it closes the word gaps too much, but mostly too little. And then filler words, if you want it to find some filler words for you, it can say here, there's an and then you see, and then another or a well. So if you want to skip these, or if you wanted to actually get rid of them, you can just see here that it's going to walk you through these, and then you can either click remove or remove all, or accept or reject. So those are the first things I would look at doing. Remember, you have your project work in here, which you can pull from any of your logo files or upload any stock media that you would like, and you can add those in here. So if I zoom all the way back out, that has pretty much done a lot of legwork for me, taking that down to 8 minutes. And then here, it's just going to get started straight in. So I'm going to walk you through the 5 most important elements I see you need. Okay, that is a great start for 10. So the next thing I would do here is, because I've recorded piece to camera and I've recorded my screen, I'm going to have to transition from one to the other. So anytime you click in here and do a backslash, that's going to put in a transition for you. Then once that transition's in, I'm going to click on the actual screen itself, and I'm just going to slide that screen up to the top right. Now that transition is going to go from here to here, and it's going to apply it for the rest of this video unless I click that otherwise. You can edit the transition here, you can edit the layout, you can edit the actual transition itself. This is going to be a smart transition here. I'm going to put it a little bit slower down to 600 milliseconds. It's a natural one, and then it's just going to click all the way out. So I'm just going to zoom in and show you how that actually looks, because it gives exactly what I need. So okay, so that's just going to go from piece to camera and then transition nicely into sharing my screen. Likewise, you can do the exact opposite at the end of the video. Once you've shared what you want to share, you can then go all the way back, find that place where you want to make that transition. So there we have it in my experience. I'm going to put another / here, and then I'm going to click that piece to camera and then drag it all the way out here. So now what we can do is have a look through the entire video. So going from the start all the way through to the end, have a look to see what has actually been edited well, what you think you can tweak a little bit on. So if this was clicked into down here and then you see that actually this is tightened up just a little bit too much, you can hover over and then drag this all the way out, or put it all the way back. Or you can click on the other copy and then you can again drag this all the way in and all the way back. So you'd like the transition to be nice and snappy, but not too quick so your words are getting cut off. And anywhere where you want to actually change the layout, if you want to click another / you can go into the layout and you can have all of these different layouts. So camera, you can zoom into the camera, you have a screen, you have screen with media, you have multicam, and then you've got all of these different slides. And you've got multiple options within each one. So this screen with piece to camera in the bottom left-hand corner, there's 6 more. You can have a look, see which ones actually work for you. So you could really just change it to this look and feel, and then it's going to change it up for you. At any stage, you've made a change, you don't like it, you can then just click on the back arrow, and then it's going to come straight back out for you. So that's some of the properties, some of the AI tools you can use. You can always re-engage with Underlord. If you wanted to blur anything out, this is in beta. This is pretty decent. You have a green screen option here and an eye contact. So if you are avoiding eye contact, you can edit just so you are, which is a little bit creepy for me right now. Then you've got any repurposing clips if you're doing any of this for social media, and then different publishing options. I'm going to look into the properties now, and this is where you can obviously edit the layout. You can have a look at the duration, how long this is, choose a different background, look at any color adjustments or any visual effects. Some of the elements, you can add titles, subtitles, and text. You can add basic shapes. This has pretty much got everything you need if you wanted to put on any animated overlays. But if you've watched any of my videos in the past, they are pretty minimal because I want to get minimal editing and maximum video impact out there. So I'm just going to come back out of here and then just show you one of these completed videos. So if I was to go back into one of these videos, this is pretty much what it looks like for me. I've got a tiny bit of background music. Then I've got a couple of graphics here. This is just if you go into elements and then put in some text. This is text that's actually going to come up. So if I was to play this one, to one of your specific questions, it's just my logo that actually comes up. And then towards the end, like I say, I do pretty much minimal editing. Then I've got my call to action. So here I'm going to introduce, if you are looking at getting your first 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, go and do this. So again, that is just text, and editing that text, you can go into it and it's pretty much like editing anything in a Word document or in a Canva document. And then you can just play around with your outro, and I've got my logo that comes in and then it just fades out to black. Anything else you want to add in, you can add a new source, and you can either add in new media, you can add another layer, or you can change the layout as you see fit. So that's exactly how I edit my videos using Descript. If I was to zoom all the way out, you can have a look to see what has been edited in the text. You can see these strike throughs, you can see the change in scenes. This is super simple if you just go through the text. And when you are looking at this and playing this back, you can actually play it back on 2x speed or 3x speed. It saves you so much time when you're looking at refining your edits. If you do want captions, you can use any of the captions down here or add any media. But like I say, I just use a very simple editing technique. Click on the export, and then once you have a direct web link, I always try and film in the highest quality possible, so maximum 4K, and then I download that to my desktop and upload it to YouTube. So there we have it, a quick walkthrough on how I use Descript and why I use Descript and how I use it for my YouTube videos. But Descript is only one of the tools that I use in this online business. If you wanted a list of all of the softwares I use, you can simply head to timpeakman.com/tools. It's a simple checklist. It is my tech stack of free and paid for tools that I use to run this one-person online business. That link once more, timpeakman.com/tools. Get access to it today. Hopefully this video has provided you with some value and you're going to create more video content for your channels. And I very much look forward to seeing you on the next video.